Today on the Shattered Podcast, I have Mark Scheeren. Am I saying that right, Mark?
You said it perfect.
Okay. And Michelle Dunbar. Mark is the chairman and co-founder of the Baldwin Research Center?
Yes, the Baldwin Research Institute is the overall company.
Right.
And yes.
Okay. And you're also the very first one that come out with a non-12-step program. It started in 1989, called the Freedom Model. And
That's
this
correct.
is at a facility called St. Jude Retreat.
You got it. You got it
Very
right.
good.
Yes.
So, Mark, tell us how this got started back in 1989.
Well, I was put in treatment because I had almost killed some people drunk driving when I was 18 years old. And I hated the treatment experience. I hated the idea that I was forever going to be sick and that I'd always have to go to meetings for the rest of my life and that I was somehow broken. That was totally against my personal ethos. It's not how I thought about myself. And so I rejected it. I just said, this doesn't make any sense, because when I actually quit drinking and drugging, I did it on my own, and then they put treatment after that. When the law sort of caught up with me, they said you have to go to treatment.
Right.
So I did the whole treatment thing that I was mandated to go to, and then I got out and I said, you know what, there's got to be a better way to do this than to go to a rehab and be told, you're forever going to struggle. Because I really wasn't struggling, even though I was a hardcore user prior. I was ready to move on with my life, and what really apparent was that treatment didn't allow you to move on. And so I rejected the notion of treatment, and I said, I'm going to build a better model, which is what I started to do as soon as I got out of treatment after that year and a half. And I met actually Michelle's father, who was a researcher, and together for the next 12 years, we developed the first non-12-step program and researched all the different modalities the world over and put the pieces together of everything that worked, and we threw out the rest. And basically what we threw out was the American addiction model in that process. Yeah.
What has made your model so successful?
Well, I think it's, and cut in anytime.
Yeah.
I think what's made it so successful is the idea that people get over their problem.
Yes.
And that, 90% of drinkers will stop whether they're treated or not when you factor in age. So we know that human beings are very good problem solvers, and they get over their problems, and people change their preferences and they move on. It's only when we're taught that people can't move on that they don't. So I think what we did is we took the research and we showed people, hey, it's more normal for you to move past this problem than it is to keep it. And people were so amazed by that fact. They had never heard that before. They didn't know that 9 out of 10 people get over the problem. And that so blew people away that they started to say, well, how is that possible? How do people change? And what is the science behind change? And is it possible for me, meaning the person? And then we showed them all the research and built a model around that. So I think it's fundamentally the idea that you actually can move on from this and that it doesn't have to be a struggle.
Right. How long is the program?
It can be anywhere between 2 weeks and 6 weeks. Some people like to stay as long as 6 weeks. I would say the average stay is 3 weeks.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks.
Really?
We can get most people through. We actually have a curriculum that we take people through called the Freedom Model for Addictions. And so, and we tailor it. Everything is one-on-one here. We work with people in a private setting and take them through the full course based on our conversations with them and what we feel like where they need the help the most, so to speak.
Right.
So, we'll take them through, eventually everybody gets through the full curriculum, but it's tailored to them.
Yeah, and some people, they don't learn the same way,
Right.
Sometimes you get somebody, and here we have a 450-page curriculum that goes through all the research and modality of how to change a preference, right? And so sometimes if somebody can't read, you have to spend that 6 weeks going through the lessons with them. But then you might have somebody that's a real hard charging person and they learn easy, they're very motivated. That might only take 2 weeks, you know?
Right. If somebody's very engaged
Yeah.
Right.
and motivated.
If their mind is set on getting the help, and
Mhm.
it's not the family's trying to force it upon them or something, it works probably a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we do get people who are forced here occasionally or coerced by their family, you know,
Right.
strong armed a bit. And you'd be surprised at how many of them within the first week go, oh my God, this
So different.
yeah, it's so
Right.
it's punitive. They don't
Mhm.
feel, you know, I'm not going to take their cell phone away. I'm not going to tell them they can't call their girlfriend. I'm not going to treat, you know, they have the freedom to go have a cigarette outside and drink some coffee. So this isn't a rehab environment. It's a retreat environment where they're going to get one-on-one lessons, 2 of them a day with the
Right.
authors of the freedom model. So they're getting
Yeah.
an amazing education, really.
Tell me what do they do in a, you know, what's a typical day like at the retreat?
Well, a typical day, it really is tailored to the individual. For the most part, it's like a typical weekday. Breakfast is served for them at about 8:30 in the morning, between 8:30 and 9:30. They have a morning class scheduled, which is usually about an hour long, one-on-one, either at 9, 10, or 11. Noontime, we have lunch that's served. We have a chef on staff, a really wonderful chef.
It's awesome.
Yep. And then in the afternoon, there's an afternoon class scheduled, which could be longer. But we have some people who prefer to do one big class in the morning where they might be in class for a couple hours.
Mhm.
And in the afternoon, you know, like I said, it's really tailored. So the afternoon class may run an hour and a half. And then we'll do, they can go to the gym if they want. There's massage therapy that's scheduled weekly. We have different outings for them and events that they can choose to go on. And that's the same with the evenings. Dinner is scheduled between 5 and 6. So it really is a relaxing day. And the structure of the day, we want it to be somewhat open. They do have independent reading that they have to do. And we want them to learn how to manage their time, because a lot of people that come to us, one of the major issues that they have with heavy substance use is boredom. We get a lot of people that you know are either retired or at middle of midlife, and they really struggle with not really knowing what to do with their time if they have more time in their hands. A lot of moms who are empty nesters, we get them in here. And so we want them to be able to see how they can structure their time in an environment that's basically safer, to figure those things out.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it too, is the lesson is educational, so it's less therapeutic, but it's more, we provide the information one-on-one, and then they come to conclusions about how they need to change their life based on that information. We're not telling people there's no moralistic angles, there's none of that. It's here's the research, you know, and based on the research, you now know you can move past this, and this is how you do that. And people are just amazed, and their life takes off. You know, it doesn't take much once you have the right information.
Right. What would you say your success rate has been throughout the years?
Well, we have a 62.5% abstinence rate, and that's based on, we're the only company in the world that's in the addiction help field that has had 3 independent post-program surveys done. Not by us, but by other research firms. Yeah, so it's 62.5%. And then out of the 38% of people that continue to drink or drug, a portion of those will moderate successfully and adjust their use to some lower level, and then others go to their heavy use.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a good percentage, actually.
Yeah, it really is.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You also have a book. Tell me about the book that you have.
Well, yeah. Do we have a copy of it? We have the workbook.
We have the book we use here at the retreat, but I should have brought down the one that, like, because people can order it on Amazon. Can we do it? Can we?
Right. Okay. And it's called the Freedom Model.
Yep. And this is the workbook that we use here at the retreat. But if you order it on Amazon, it's a paperback. They can kind of fit in a bag. And we also have the Freedom Model for the Family, which is a smaller book. It's about 120 pages as opposed to 450, and it takes some of the most crucial points out of the Freedom Model, and also addresses issues that the family faces a lot of the times when they're trying to help someone with a substance use problem.
Right.
Now this book. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, the book is really the 14th edition of the evolution of what we've been teaching over 30 years. So the name became the Freedom Model 2 years ago, when we basically took everything we learned for 30 years, from all the historical studies of the 12-step model that we knew about, to understanding how treatment works and how it doesn't work, and all that information, and how a preference change is made, what is the role in genetics, all these different things that people think causes use that we've debunked. All of that information was put in the book. So it took us 6 years to write this final version, because it was so well researched. And we have a great researcher that wrote a lot of it. His name is Steve Slate. He can't be here today because he's actually in classes right now, right upstairs. But the three of us really put our lives into this. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Right. So the St. Jude retreat is in New York.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Upstate New York, people would fly into Albany. We get people from all over the country and the world, truthfully. And we only have 6 bedrooms. All bedrooms are private. And we usually have at least one room that's available. We tend to have about 5 people here at a time, which allows us really to give personalized services to everyone that's here.
Right. And
we also offer private instruction. I actually have 3 students that I'm working with around the country that I meet with over Zoom.
Just awesome. What we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So you can help them online.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We've been very successful with that. Yep.
Very good. And the retreat is for males and female?
Yes.
Yep. It's co-ed.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. If someone is not able to come to Albany or upstate New York, the book, does it kind of help them with beginning their sobriety?
Oh.
Absolutely. We've sold how many books?
About 4,500 books are out there right now.
Last couple of years. Yeah. And we get emails and letters from people all the time, would say the book changed my life. We have a strong social media presence. So a lot of people reach out to us on Facebook and Twitter, and tell us, how the book has changed their lives or lives of someone they gave it to. Right. And it's a real comprehensive guide to not just overcoming or, moving past addiction, but also moving on with your life, moving past the idea that you're perpetually struggling.
Right. This idea of perpetual recovery, we challenge that, and we show people they don't have to be in recovery, that you can literally move on and just let that be a part of your past that you've outgrown.
Right.
So
which most people do.
Yeah.
Most people that aren't exposed to treatment. I mean, Mark and I grew up in the 12-step model because his mom was a guru. My dad was a guru in AA for a long time. And so from very young ages, we considered ourselves addicts before we even started drinking or drugging. And then, ended up overcoming the problem ourselves, thankfully, with different information.
Right.
But it did take some time for us to leave the 12-step model behind and really get on with our lives.
Right.
Another point I wanted to make about the book is, you had asked, can the book, can that be a vehicle for people to move past this without being instructed, right? Without that sort of one-on-one contact. And and I always tell people, if you want to see how that works, if you go onto Amazon and you read the unsolicited
Oh,
reviews,
yeah.
you can actually, people are very explicit
About how their lives have
about how
changed.
their
Yeah.
lives have changed. And with Amazon, you can't, you know, there are these companies that make up reviews, but with
Right.
Amazon, you can't.
Mhm.
I always tell people,
Right.
look at Amazon, because you'll see what readers are really saying.
Right.
And they're very, very detailed in their reviews.
Yeah.
I would think it would be beneficial to get the book, and then as they're reading, or if they have questions, then they can work with you guys through Zoom or.
Yeah, definitely. And we're available. Our toll-free number comes right to this house. So, and we have Carla, who's our administrator, who handles all our calls. And but I mean, we were just having lunch with her. So
Say
like
the
she
number.
has access to us. The number?
Yes, if you could give us the
Okay.
number.
Yep,
If
it's
it,
yeah,
go
it's
ahead.
888-424-2626.
Okay, very good. Um, if someone, because a lot of people are not able to fly out to the retreat, if they want some help through Zoom, what is the cost for that?
The cost for that is, for the full program, which is about 12 to 15 classes, is $3,500, but that's regardless of how many classes you need.
Okay,
Some people are through it in 10, some people I've done 20 classes with them. If
right.
they're moving a little bit slower, there's 23 chapters. So, but we also have done where somebody just wants 5 classes and they just want to get a jump start on it, and we'll do that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll work with just about anybody with any type of situation. We find a solution, because honestly, when I started, Jerry helped me, right?
Yeah.
When I was
Right.
down and out. So I've never forgotten, that I need to pass that sort of attitude on as well.
Absolutely. Okay. Mark, Michelle, what else have we not covered?
Well, I think the only thing is if there's a message that I want to tell your listenership, it's number one, they can get over the problem and move on. They don't have to be stuck in some treatment modality for the rest of their lives. And if you want to understand why I can say that, get a copy of the book. Also, if you can't afford the book, call us. We'll work with anybody. I just want them to have a solution that makes sense, and that's research. That's our only mission here. So I just want people to know they can really move on past this.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I think one of the most important things to understand too is that the freedom model doesn't come from a moralistic perspective. We're absolutely do not judge what somebody likes to do, wants to do,
Mhm.
is choosing to do with their lives, and any kind of behavior issue that somebody feels like is out of their control or they're struggling with, the freedom model can help them. So it's not just drugs and alcohol.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we've helped people with gambling problems and problems with pornography or
Bulimia.
but yeah, eating
Oh, yeah.
disorders or anything that they feel like, wow, I'm really struggling with this behavior and I'd like to change it.
Right.
Yeah, and we also don't judge if somebody, gets the book and we work with them for a little while and they still feel like they're struggling, they can always come back. It's wherever they are, we meet them where they are, to help them with whatever they're struggling with.
Right. That's awesome. And I love the idea of being able to reach out to you guys through Zoom, because a lot of people, families are struggling financially and cannot fly out to the retreat.
That's
Exactly.
right. That's right.
What plans do you have in the future? Are you trying to open up more facilities or?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure we'll open up more facilities. I think that the facility we have is always going to remain sort of the laboratory for us, and that way we can really make sure that it stays one-on-one. I think that the way we're going to reach out to many more people is going to be, we're going to do lessons on every chapter and have a membership site where people can get taught with PDF files, videos directly from the founders, from us, and then that can be parlayed into, if they need more help, then we can do the private instruction over Zoom or FaceTime or Skype or whatever. But I think that our mission is to reach as many people as possible through video lessons. So that's the next project.
Through like a membership website and webinars. And we also want to, you know, we're also reaching out to professionals, mental health professionals primarily.
Yeah, they love our book.
Yeah, you know, and so that we want to get kind of a, you know, if somebody is struggling maybe with mental health as well as substance use, we want to be able to have, you know, a base where we can refer people out to mental health professionals that will support this model.
Right. Yeah, because this is, like you said, it's not just drugs and alcohol. It's anything that is destructive in your life.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. We will also list the phone number, the website, and any other information you guys would like. That way we can make sure your Twitter account. When do you think that you will have the online for webinars on it?
That will be 6 months from now. It'll be a half a year. We have a lot of recording we still have to get done.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, we will be working on an audio book as well. A lot of people have asked for it.
Yeah.
So that's all these things in time.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
We have a lot of time.
Not enough hours in the day, huh?
Exactly.
Right.
I think what you guys are doing though is awesome. It really is.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And I guess we should probably say what the website is, or are you going to have that listed already?
Yes, go ahead. I'm going to list it, but go ahead and tell us.
All right. The website is thefreedommodel.org. And the phone number is 888-424-2626.
Okay.
And the retreat website, we have a website just for the retreat. It's soberforever.net, and it's all one word, soberforever.net.
Okay. Very good. Michelle, Mark, thank you both so much. And I wish you guys all the best. Absolutely.
Yes.
I wish you guys all the best.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Right.
Bye-bye. Please support our sponsor, renovationtea.com. You'll find a large variety from daily to specific herbal remedy teas, all certified organic and fair trade. Use code SHATTERED and you'll get a 10% discount. You can see the link below. Hi, I'm Dee. I'm the host of the Shattered Podcast. Please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell on the notifications so you won't miss an episode. I'm very passionate about helping families. If you are an expert that would like to help or would like to share your testimony, please contact me. Thank you.